Don't get despondent, Brennan. Get coldly, resolutely angry. Then apply your science to help nail the bastards. Yep, I agreed with myself aloud, and headed downstairs. Charbonneau was in the anteroom of one of the small autopsy suites. "What's her name?" I asked. "Émilie Anne Toussaint. She was on her way to dance class." He tipped his head toward the adjoining room. "La Manche has begun to post." I slipped past the detective into the autopsy room. A photographer was taking pictures while the pathologist made notes and shot Polaroid backups. I watched La Manche grasp a camera by its side handles, then raise and lower it above the body. The lens moved in and out of focus over one of the wounds in the child's forehead. La Manche depressed the shutter release. A white square slid out, and he pulled it free and added it to a collection on the side counter. Emily Ann's body bore evidence of the intensive effort to save her life. Her head was partly bandaged, but I could see a clear tube protruding from her scalp, inserted to monitor intracranial pressure. A tube ran down her throat and into her trachea and esophagus, placed in order to oxygenate the lungs and to block regurgitation from the stomach. Catheters for IV infusion remained in her vessels, and the circular white patches for EKG electrodes were still pasted to her chest. Such a frantic intervention, almost like an assault. I dragged my eyes back to the small body. Emily Ann wore nothing but a plastic hospital bracelet. Next to her lay a pale green hospital gown, bundled clothing, a pink backpack, and a pair of high-top red sneakers. A little girl did not belong here. When I looked up, La Manche's sad eyes met mine. Putting a choke hold on my emotions, I described the progress I was making with my own cases, reassembling the corpses of 2 bikers who'd been blown apart by their own folly, and asked when ante-mortem medical records would be available. La Manche told me that the files had been requested and should arrive on Monday. I thanked him and went to resume my own grim task. As I sorted tissue, I remembered my previous day's conversation with La Manche and wished I were still in the Virginia woods. Was it only yesterday La Manche had called me there? Emily Ann was alive then. So much can change in 24 hours. The day before, I had been in Quantico teaching a body recovery workshop at the FBI Academy. My team of evidence recovery technicians was unearthing and mapping its skeleton when I looked up to see a special agent approaching through the trees. He reported that a Dr. La Manche urgently wished to speak to me. Feeling uneasy, I left my team and started out of the woods. As I threaded my way toward the road, I thought about La Manche and the news his call might bring. I began consulting in Montreal in the early 90s as a part of a faculty exchange between McGill and my home university in Charlotte. Quebec province had a centralized coroner system with sophisticated crime and medico-legal labs, but no board-certified forensic anthropologist, and La Manche wanted me. For more than a decade now, the skeletonized, decomposed, mummified, burned, or mutilated cadavers of Quebec province have come to me for analysis.